Right, morning everybody. So I've actually done this video a couple of 3-4 times, but more information has come to sort of light, so I thought I'd just redo the video again. So basically, I'll try and keep this short-ish, but obviously it looks like Roadkill and a lot of those other programs that I haven't been able to watch really properly for a long time, since about 2017, 18, whenever it was, that a lot of the world got locked out of that Motor Tree app that they made, you know, that they shifted all that content over. All those programs are dead now within the way that they are or were. So yeah, that sucks. I was hoping at some point that maybe, you know, we would be able to watch that content properly, you know, eventually again. So whether that's ever going to happen outside of like probably the US and Canada or in a handful of other countries, you know, like it become really, really difficult to watch it. So I watched David Freiberger's video that he put up this morning, because it was weird. Like I noticed a couple of 3-4 months ago that he started pumping content out on his channel. Like I think he'd always had a channel for quite a while, but he had never really put much content up there apart from the odd little, say, 3 or 4 minute clip about something, sort of, you know, over the years. I'm not sure how far back his content goes. I'd have to have a look, but I know that there's been videos on there that are several years old now. But yeah, nothing ever had sort of come from that channel, you know what I mean? But obviously recently there was some content started popping up in there, you know, and I've watched it and whatever, and you know, it's pretty good content. But yeah, I kind of wondered what was going on. So obviously I started watching Roadkill about the same time as I started my YouTube channel way back in 2014, 2013, I think it was early 2014 when I started doing my videos, but I'd been watching Roadkill and, you know, all that sort of stuff on YouTube for a while, you know, mid 2013 sort of type thing. I think when I first discovered Roadkill, you know, when they probably, I don't know, they might have had maybe a year or so's worth of episodes of stuff already up at that point, you know, and I'd been watching other videos, obviously, you know, bits and pieces on YouTube, but you know, that was probably about the time that I wouldn't say really got into YouTube, but that's when I think YouTube really came alive with more longer content that was really worth watching instead of just 3 or 4 minute clips, sort of stuff, or, you know, little short videos, if you know what I mean. You know, you get a lot of videos that were just, I don't know, for car content, you know, got somebody, yeah, doing a burnout or whatever, you know, like it was a 2 or 3 minute clip sort of thing, or somebody racing and it was a short clip of them doing a burst down through a frickin' whatever, you know, whether it was a land speed pass or you know, you'd get little clips like that, you know, bits and pieces. But then obviously with Roadkill, and then, you know, it's a bit of other stuff, you know, sort of about that probably 2012, 2013, 2014, that's when a lot of these channels really started developing. So yeah, it was a shame to see them that obviously the big parent company, that Motor Tree, that was obviously the backing for all that sort of stuff. And I know that Roadkill come along because I think YouTube, I remember that being talked about at some point, that YouTube come along and must have given a heap of money to a few outfits to start like the more of a automotive content type sort of stuff to put onto YouTube. And there might have been some other stuff as well, like not automotive, but they must have handed some bigger companies that were looking to do video type sort of stuff to put it on YouTube. And I think that's how Roadkill and all that sort of stuff got started, according to David. And obviously they expanded out into Roadkill Garage and Hot Rod Garage and so on, you know, Dirt Every Day and all that sort of stuff. And then they made freaking, you know, they made the app and made the paywall thing and shifted all the content over to the Motor Trend channel app thing, which was all linked in with Discovery and all that sort of bullshit, which I think was sort of the demise, because I don't know what percentage of the world can't watch that shit and still can't watch that shit through that Motor Trend channel site, through the app. Like, we lost it here in New Zealand, I think somewhere about 2017, and I know in Australia, because I was backwards and forwards between Australia about then and New Zealand. You know, like, I think New Zealand lost it first, and when I went back to Australia, they still had it, but it disappeared not long, maybe 6 to 8 months after I moved back there. At that point, around that sort of 2016, 2017 mark, yeah, and I think I stopped watching, yeah, like Roadkill and all that sort of shit about that time. Like, was able to watch the new stuff, if you know what I mean. You know, and the only other stuff I've been able to watch since is this shit that pops up on YouTube. Like, there was ways around it in the early days, like through VPNs and shit, but that all just disappeared. Like, it just got to the point where it was too awkward. You know, you ended up having to have a credit card based within the US or some of those other countries that were able to watch it, like Canada and I don't know who else. It would be actually really interesting to know what countries are able to watch it and what countries aren't. I think it was a lot to do with the Discovery and the Discovery Turbo channels that were being bought. The rights were bought by TV channels and network channels within countries, and that's why a lot of them got blocked off, because like there's Sky here, I don't know, there's Foxtel in Australia, which had the rights to those Discovery Turbo car network channels, which a lot of that stuff got pushed onto, you know, outside of the Motor Trend app, if you know what I mean. So that's where a lot of it got blocked, as far as I know, like within a lot of countries. You know, they had access to that. So like a lot of those companies obviously kicked up a stink, because, you know, now people can go watch all that shit on your thing for a couple of dollars a month, and now we're losing out in revenue. We're losing out on all those people that were watching that stuff. And I think that's what happened. I think that's where the demise, really, for that sort of thing, died, if you know what I mean. Like, I know a lot of people over here in New Zealand don't have, a lot of people do have Sky Network, which is like where a lot of the TV channels and sports channels and all that sort of shit are on now. Like, we get little bits and pieces on free TV, but you know what I mean. By the time you pay subscriptions for, you know, Netflix and Disney and Amazon Prime TV and all that sort of bullshit through you know, through your TV and whatever, you know, like the Sky and all that sort of bullshit. You know, if there's anything that I ever want to watch on Sky for sport, like, I can buy a package for a day or a week and watch it, and then I don't have to pay fucking anymore. You know, you're not paying that, you know, extra $20 or $30 or $40 a month for something else as well, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I think that's where the demise of it come into. I think if they had kept a lot of those things on YouTube, I think they would have been far better off. I think in a lot of ways. Like, I know that, like, I didn't mind paying the $4 or $5 for the Motor Trend app, I think it was, when it first came out, and we were able to watch it, you know, for those, I don't know, year or so, or two, before they got fucking blocked off from around the world. Apart from obviously the US and Canada and a fucking handful of other places, which just really sucked. But I think that's what's killed it. Look, I know they kept it going for a long time, and their fan base in the, you know, in the US and Canada would be pretty huge. But if you had all the rest of the world behind the system, I think they would be still going. You know what I mean? Like, I know that all those guys are now on YouTube, like Mike and Dave, you know, and then also, you know, the guys from Dirt Every Day, Mike Chappelle, Dave Chappelle, and Fred, and, you know, like Lucky Costa and Tony Angelo. They've all got their own YouTube channels, and like, I know Steve Dulcich has got a YouTube channel, you know, and there's probably, you know, some of the other ones are like Alex Taylor, if you're watching her like through Roadkill Garage. Like, I know that she ended up on that because, you know, these little clips pop up every now and again. So, but yeah, it's like, it sucks that that's just the way that their system worked. I know that David was just saying on Freiberger on his thing, he got a lot of hate for when they went off YouTube. But I don't, like, obviously he had helped start it all, but I don't think he had any control over where it went, which sucks. I think he was quite a fighter to keep it on YouTube. I can imagine if they were still on YouTube, the amount of millions of followers that they would probably now have, compared with what they probably had in, you know, 2017, 18 sort of type thing, would have been massive. And I think it would have paid for it fucking self anyway, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it was a shame to see it go to that paywall thing. But I didn't mind paying for it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think that's what the demise of the whole system was. You know, I've said that several times, but yeah, because it was really cool seeing a lot of those things like Steve Dulcich, you know, doing, you know, like the Engine Masters with Freiberger, and, you know, and then Mike Finnegan, and, you know, and then doing stuff together and whatever. And I think a lot of it sounds like a lot of those events they had or have, I think a lot of that sort of stuff is still going to happen. Still going to happen, you know, like the duct tape drags and frickin', you know, all those sorts of things. I think a lot of that's still going to happen, because it's got such a big following anyway. But yeah, it sucks to see that sort of stuff is not going to happen. I hope Mike and David and stuff still do some stuff together and throw it up on YouTube somehow, you know, and don't get, I don't know, I wouldn't say wrapped over the knuckles, because I don't think any of them got anything to do with the magazine stuff now. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I know that I'm pretty sure Mike is solely YouTube for any of his, you know, income. And yeah, I don't know about all the other guys as well, but like, I think majority of it is they're all pretty much YouTube people now, like, and it's fully solely, like, I think by the way that David spoke to you, like, I don't think he's doing much with any of the magazine type stuff or anything anymore. Like, I don't think he's really involved in the magazine side of it or anything like that. I don't think he has been for a long time, if you know what I mean. So yeah, like, it's sad to see, but I think, yeah, when they closed a lot of the world off, I think it was only going to last so long. And when you get fucking like Discovery involved and stuff, and, you know, you get all those big wigs that think they fucking know everything and kill it all. Yeah, I don't know. I really think if they just had it as a small production crew like they used to have it in the early days, and just keep doing that, like, I think it would have been far better off. Like, I think, you know, it would have been nice having all the producers and all the extra bits of staff to help run things and do things and produce it all and edit it all and all that sort of stuff. That would have been really fucking cool, but, you know, sometimes that just, I think it gets a little out of hand when it gets to that sort of production level. And I don't know if it affected the videos quite as much, like, because David was saying that him and Mike had pretty much free reign on what they were doing and whatever, but I think it's still it still loses it's still lost its, I wouldn't say it's luster, but it's low buck creativity, I guess, per se, because it become big budget stuff. And I guess probably just what ends up on the editing floor didn't make it quite so raw. I think, you know, it was such a more polished production. I think that's where it lost its rawness of the early days. And I think Dave sort of hit it on the head too, like, because there's so many channels out there doing similar kind of content to what Roadkill kind of was originally, if you know what I mean. Because there's a lot of that now. It's become a bit more mainstream and people kind of get used to it. But yeah, I really do hope that those guys do get together and do some stuff together occasionally, even if it's a few times a year, and sort of have it as sort of like the YouTube Roadkill sort of type sort of thing, Hot Rod Garage, Roadkill Garage sort of stuff, but do it under their own steam and power, if you know what I mean. And just, I don't know whether they post it up on their normal up on their channels, or whether they even make a couple of joint venture channels, you know, that they can post that sort of content up on. I don't fucking know, you know what I mean, but I hope that's kind of what happens. Anyway, I'm just not far from work, so I think I'll wrap it up here, and I might throw this video up and just see what people think. But yeah, I think that's, I don't know, it would be actually really interesting to hear who can watch, who was able to access that Motor Trend app and who was not around the world. It would be really fucking interesting to know. I know it's definitely not available here in New Zealand and Australia, and I know it's not available in a lot of other countries around the world, but it would be interesting to know what countries can watch it and what countries can't watch it, if you know what I mean. Like, I know there's ways around things with VPNs and stuff like that, but I think it ended up to the point that if you didn't have a US-based credit card or a Canadian-based credit card or something like that, that it almost became impossible to get onto it without, even through a VPN type sort of thing. Yeah, I gave up early on. I just can't be bothered fighting with the stupid VPNs and shit like that, and getting onto dodgy ones, and, you know, trying to fucking get around it. Like in the early days, I just gave up. I was like, fuck. You know, there's enough of it spills over, and there's enough other car content that I'll catch it when I can, or if somebody, you know, you get people that rip the clips off and post them up. You know, I've watched a few episodes like that over time, but yeah. Anyway, let me know. Let me know where you're from and whether you're able to watch it still now. If you did watch it back in the early days before it got shut off from a lot of the world. So yeah, anyway, catch you later on. Thanks for watching.